Welcome to Pastor's Chat today. Well, we're looking at the book of Joshua, and we're in the first two verses where we read, "After the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spoke to Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' assistant, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise and go over this Jordan, you and all this people, to the land which I'm given to them, the children of Israel." And so we're introduced to Joshua actually in the book of Exodus, where we find that he was born a slave in Egypt. Now, when we study the spiritual journey of every Christian, every believer, we find out God does have a special plan and purpose for all of our lives. I love calling children on their birthdays and say, "Oh, you are so special. God has a plan and a purpose for your life." And it begins the day we were conceived, because even before then, the scripture told us about Jeremiah. God said, before you were conceived in the womb, I knew you and had a plan for you. And then later he would say, and I know the plans for you are great and good and have purpose in them. And that's the same with Joshua, this new leader who's going to take the place of the great Moses, who now has passed off the scene here in Joshua chapter 1. So how does it begin? Well, his journey begins as a slave in Egypt. And that's a picture of every believer. Actually, we are a slave in Egypt, in the world, under the domination of Satan, Pharaoh. And we have no choice. In a sense, we're born sinners. That's how we begin our journey. Sinners, estranged from God, actually enemies of God, whether we acknowledge it or not, alienated by our wicked works, we're told in the New Testament. And yet God still cares for us, because while we're yet sinners, Christ dies for us. And we know that Joshua, we learned from other scriptures, was the son of Nun. He was from the tribe of Ephraim. And that means and he was the firstborn, which means he was in danger of dying on that last plague that took place in the land of Egypt as the firstborn. Now, even by then, he was a young man. He was a young soldier by the time the plagues take place in Egypt. And we know that he would have seen those plagues and watched the mighty hand of God bring judgment upon the Egyptians and bring deliverance to the nation of Israel. But his father Nun, must have placed the blood of the sacrificial lamb on the doorpost and on the lintel, and he was safe. He was safe from the plague of the death of the firstborn. And my friend, that's how it all begins for us. And of course, with the rest of the nation, he crossed the Red Sea, and the slave became one of those that go into the wilderness with Moses. And so that's the beginning journey of every believer. We're slaves to sin, slaves to Satan, slaves to our addictions, slaves to our past. But God sent his son, Jesus Christ, to set us free. He's the precious Lamb of God. He's the one and only one who can redeem us from our sins. And that's what the blood of the Lamb is about, redemption. We are paid for by the blood, the price of the Lamb of God, Jesus Christ. And that's why he is so worthy. And so he starts out as a slave in Egypt. And the next recorded official act of Joshua, is in Exodus chapter 17. And where we find that he is a soldier. And so this is when he defeats the Amalekites. And while Moses is upon the mountain and overlooking the battle with the Amalekites, Joshua is the general of the army. So where he learned his skills, we're not sure, to become a general, but God set him in that position, and he is leading the armies of Israel against the armies of Amalek. And of course, he wins that battle when Moses has his hand lifted up and God gives him the victory over Amalek, who is a picture of the flesh. And we might talk more about that tomorrow, because it's interesting. God saved us to become soldiers of the cross of Jesus Christ, those who will do warfare for him, do battle for him. So God bless you. Let's continue to look at the life of Joshua, his spiritual journey, and learn how God is working in our lives. Well, God bless you, and you have a wonderful, wonderful day.